In terms of like groups in anime, I feel like we don't give class 1C. At least that's as far as they are as I'm reading the books. I'm only in like book 9. So this list is going to be only based off of those. But I feel like we don't give them enough love as a group of people or as characters, because when we look at them, they do everything right. They have different types of group of people. They have different friend groups, different relationships. They have internal strife. Everything that you want in a classroom atmosphere, anything is similar to what you'll want in a school atmosphere. And I feel like we only look at like probably the Straw Hats and the Black Bulls as what we consider to be like the best of the best groups. And I feel like class 1C is right up there. So I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts and some of my favorite characters. It's not gonna be like a top 10, just 10 or so characters who I think are my favorite in the series. No particular order except for like my number 1 and 2. And I think we all can like know who this guy is. His name is Kiyotaka Koji, the MC of the series. He's one of my favorite, not just in the series. I think he is my favorite character, or at least tied with my favorite character in this series, but he's one of my favorite MCs in all of anime. He holds himself back and he likes to live under the radar because of what happened in the White Room. He just wants to live a nice, normal school life, not necessarily being the center of attention or not being an important person. I love that about him. I love that he has, I believe his IQ is 200, so he has all this ability, not just mentally but physically, and he tries to hold back so that others can prosper and others can figure out more about himself. He's really cool and really smart, and my favorite moment from him is probably the sports festival when he raced against Manabu really seriously. He's like, hey, go all out, and that's when everybody started noticing that there's something a little bit special about him. So I like him, and I like seeing that he has a lot of women that like him, and he's not necessarily going after him. He wants a relationship, but he wants one that he can experience everything, like going through the ups and downs, falling in love with somebody, potentially, I don't want to say it, but like making love with people. I was going to say the S word, but he wants to experience all of that, so I find that interesting. I believe Ichinose, Karzagawa, I think Sato, Sakura, and I think one more kind of has or likes him, so I like that aspects about him. And I like that now that with Nagumo and Sakinaki, that he's probably going to have to go out and kind of not expose himself but get back in the game, because I know in book 8 or book 7, I believe 7.5, that's when he took a step back, or might have been book 6, I don't know, but he took a step back and then he went, now he has to come out and try to get Naguma and Sakinaki off his case. So we're going to see him more, and hopefully more people realize how talented he really is. Next person we're going to talk about is Harikta. I don't really know who's the lead woman in the series, because Karuzawa and Harikta, they have a lot of screen time, but I love her attitude, that she's thinks that she's better, or the superiority complex, that she's better than everybody else. We love that. I love that she has had character development where now she's not trying to do everything on her own. She's starting to gain allies. I believe Pseudo and other people in the classroom are starting to go around and believe in her more. I like her interactions with Kushida, how they are, I don't want to say rivals, but they're rivals in a sense, how Kushida's always trying to mess up Harikta, get her expelled, and Harikta finds a way not to let that happen. So she realizes that she can't do everything on her own. Love that with her character development. Love her goal, a strong goal to get into class A so she can finally be accepted by her brother. And my favorite scene is probably when she realizes that she cannot talk to everybody or treat everybody in a certain way, and how she chased after Pseudo, and they had a heart-to-heart kind of explaining what her weakness is and why she wants Pseudo to come back, and why she needs him as a person. Because remember earlier with Pseudo and his case, how she was like, well, I'm not going to fight for him, and then she started fighting for him. So I love that she's starting to understand what having allies truly means. Earlier, I talked about being tied, and your Koji, she is tied with him. This is Ichinose. She's my second favorite / first favorite character. I love her happy and bubbly personality. She reminds me a lot of my, because I have two best friends. I have a female best friend and I have a male best friend. She reminds me a lot of my female best friend, Ira. She is very happy-go-lucky, puts everybody before them, and just has a bubbly personality. And I love book 9 was centered around her. It was a mix of like getting Ichinose, her character development, and flesh her out more, because we didn't really know much about her, and also a setup chapter or setup book for book 10. I feel like book 10 is really going to be live, so I'm looking forward to that. I believe it comes out in March, so I will be doing a review whenever that comes out. But I love that she's smart. I believe in the Zodiac test, she was able to figure out Koji's scheme and notice that there's more to meet the eye with him, so she's able to keep him. I think that she'll probably be one of the most challenging people for people to get into class A. So I like that about her, and I like that she finally came to terms with what she did about stealing and shoplifting. And I think she was being a little bit too hard on herself, talking about she's a criminal, she can't do anything right, and that she shouldn't be like loved or something along those lines, that people shouldn't like her because of one little thing that she did. I think that was a mistake. But she was in like junior high, I think she was like 13 or whatever. Like, everybody's done something bad in their life, so she was just being hard on herself. But I love that. It reminds me of me. I'm a little bit extra hard on myself when I don't have to. And then in the end of the book, her and Yakoji, they had an interaction where she gave him chocolates on Valentine's Day. We know that that's supposed to either be appreciation, friendship, or romantic feelings. So I don't necessarily know if she likes him. In the picture, she was blushing a little bit, and she was talking about that she's never done something like that before, so I don't know. And I saw something where it said that her heart was bubbling up, or like there was something, a tight feeling in the chest, where that usually speculates a romantic relationship between some people. Karzagawa, she's probably my second favorite woman in the show. I believe she is tied with Harikta being the lead female in the show or the series, so I'm not really sure, but I love her influence. She has a stuck-up personality, but that's not really her, that's just the persona she puts on so she doesn't get bullied. She does that so she can have more influence on her people. And I love her past, that she was bullied in the past, and now she's trying to hide that. And then when Enyakoji finds out, he's trying to break her of that shackle so that she can be at peace with herself. And then that's when we see the scene with her and Ruin, when Ruin tried to recreate her getting bullied, and he was like, hey, if you bring out, I think his name was X, you bring out X, which is Enyakoji, hey, I'll let you go. And she kept her faith and believed in Enyakoji, and then he saved her, which is why she likes him. Not just that, but like when he saw her scar, he didn't look at her with disgust. He's not looking at her in like a lust like or with any foul or malicious intent. He genuinely cares and has, I don't want to say feelings, because he talked about it, I believe, in book 7.5 about being friends and possibly more with her. So I see that. I don't know if they go out in the future, but right now either her or Ichinose is the people I would want to go with Enyakoji. We also have Pseudo. He is very hot-headed, a meathead. He's not very intelligent. He's strong, physically gifted. We need those type of characters, but he also is trying to get better. He's trying not to engage in people and just fight or argue with his fists. He's trying to be more level-headed because he likes Harikta, and that's what she wants of him, and so he's trying to better himself, so I really do like that. And the same with Harikta. That my favorite scene with him is when they talk about the sports festival and how they can get better together. So that's my favorite scene from him. But Pseudo is doing good. He's studying more. He's doing good in basketball, so he's trying his best to do better. And with the three, I think it's Aikimachi and Pseudo, he's starting to branch off for them. And I believe it's Yamachi. I don't remember. One of them is like also starting to get better as well. So we love that, and that they're growing and developing. The real first villain, I'd say, Ruin. I love him. He's very conniving, very sly. We need a villain or somebody like this in the story. The way he thinks, just like Enyakoji, that he does stuff along, well, he does it more than Enyakoji, but that he goes steps beyond the line, where Enyakoji sometimes he'll step behind the line, but he'll walk that tightrope. So I love that. He's very manipulative, very sly, very slick. Reminds me of a fox, how they're very smart but cunning and very sneaky. Love that. And he doesn't like to lose. He always likes to win and be on top. And my favorite scene with him is when he tried to get Harikta to kneel to him and like submit to him, saying that she was wrong and he's this and all that. And I love that. When he got found it out, or the plan didn't go well, he's like, oh, he said, I gotta step up my game, and he started bullying people. And the whole scene with the him fighting Enyakoji on the rooftop, we love Ruin, and I'm happy that he didn't get expelled and that he's still gonna play a part in the future of the story. Ibuki, she's cool. Sometimes she gets on my nerves a little bit, but I like her and Harikta's rivalry. They did it on the island when they fought, and they also in the sports festival. I believe Harikta barely beat her, and I believe Enyakoji talked about if Harikta didn't have a headache and she wasn't ill, that Ibuki still probably would have beat her in a one-on-one fight. And so I love that. I love that their interactions with Enyakoji, how she did the sidekick, I believe, with him, and then she saw him at the movies, and then he beat her on the rooftop, and then he beat her again after watching the movie, and just seeing her lose to him all the time, and how she's very petty, like, no, we need another, give me another one, best 2 out of 3, best 5 out of 7, stuff like that. So that's very interesting. I love her character. Kushida is another one that we need. One of those pretty girls in the class that kind of has everybody wrapped around her finger, and that she's very manipulative, so we need that in the story. I don't know which one's the real her. Like, I feel like she is a good person, but at the same time I feel like she isn't. Like, I don't know if like her bubbly side is her real side, or like her hating on everybody and like calling people pigs and stuff like that, if that's her real person. I feel like it's a mesh between the two. I feel like when she gets really stressed out or like really upset, that's when the bad side comes out. But I feel like everybody has that. In like, I try to be the best person, but like, there's sometimes when I get upset or I don't like somebody, and I'm not going to just sit up in here and try to be friends with them, but at the same time that's what she does. So I don't know, but she's a very interesting character, and I can't wait till she gets fleshed out a little bit more. Sakura, very quiet, very wholesome, one of the only girls like that in the classroom, I'd say, where she doesn't talk, and she's very beautiful. From everybody, they say that that's what she is. She's an idol, and that she's very pretty, but she doesn't take that to her advantage, and she's still insecure about herself, so he loves that. Very soft-spoken, very heartwarming, cares about her friends, and she's coming out of her shell. She's starting to talk to more people and get out more, and she likes Enya Koji. But the one thing, I feel like she's not going to go with him. I feel like he doesn't need that type of girl. I feel like he needs the type of girl that he can have at his side, like either a Karzagawa or a Ichinose. I feel like Sakura is too, I don't want to say high maintenance, because that's just her personality, but like, she can't match him or the way that he needs to be. She can't get his hands dirty like Karazara or Ichinose. So I really don't think that they'll be together, which kind of sucks, because Sakura is a very kind-hearted person, and even Anya Koji knows that she likes him, so that sucks. But my favorite moment is her in book 4.5, when she was deciding if she should go out with, I believe it was either Ike or Yamachi, and then Anya Koji, she had the interaction when together, and how she didn't want to leave him, and they got wet together because of the rain, etc. Manabu, the former president of the student council. I like that he notices Anya Koji, and that he's kind of mentoring him a little bit, keeping him by his side. And that Manabu, he cares about his friends and about the people around him, that he puts them before him. I love that, and I love the fact that even though he's about to graduate, he's still trying to make sure the school is in order. He doesn't want chaos. He doesn't do too much, but at the same time, he doesn't like hinder or hurt the school in any way. So I like that him and Anya Koji are working together. And my favorite interaction has to be when they first met, and how he was trying to fight Anya Koji, and he's like, whoa, you move well. He's like, thanks, this calligraphy and piano. Like, what? Anya Koji, stop lying, man. And then the last character I'm going to talk about is Chabishira. She is the sensei of class 1C. Like I said, I'm only like 9 books in, so I don't know if they moved up or moved down or whatever. But I like the fact that she doesn't give all the information, and she makes her class think. Like, she doesn't spoon feed people, because in real life, I don't like people like that. I'm not saying you can't ask for help, but there's some people who don't want to put in the time and effort for themselves. And so I like that Chabishira, she doesn't handicap them. I also like the fact that she was very conniving. One of my favorite scenes has to be when she talks about the story of Icarus with Enya Koji, because that's kind of what he is, except for he's not flying. He's trying to be free, but he's not flying too high from the sun, or to the sun. And so how Chabishira, she lied, saying that the dad's going to expel him just so she can have her own personal goal to get into class A, because, well, she never got to do it, so she wants to be the teacher that does that. So I find that very interesting. Why did I say interesting? I meant to say interesting. But thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know who your favorite characters are in the comment section below. Give me 3. Like I said, if I had to pick 3, mine would probably be Enya Koji number 1, number 2 would probably be Ichinose, and then number 3 would be Karuzawa. So any book that has them 3 as the primary focus, those are some of my favorite books, which is why book 9, book 4, 5, I think that's why, and 7, those are why those books are some of my favorite books in this series. But thank you guys so much for watching. More Classroom Elite videos will be coming in the future, but thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, the notification bell so you can never miss out on the video from it. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat is on the screen and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.